I'm recording this video on a rainy Sunday afternoon. If you live in a climate with four seasons, I love this time of year when you don't have to turn on the air conditioning or the heat, and you can just sleep with the window open and a fan going. It was dark and rainy this morning, and there was such a nice breeze coming in through the window. So instead of getting up at my usual time, which is like between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., even on weekends, I decided to sleep in for an extra hour. It would be easy to beat myself up and for not being up and at 'em at my usual time and for not getting right to work on all the various projects I have going on. And I actually started to do that this morning to beat up on myself and to chastise myself for not getting up on time. And then I realized, like so many things in life, working versus resting is about finding a balance between the two. I recently read an excellent book called Laziness Does Not Exist by Devin Price. The book basically lays out the importance of rest and self care. For those of us who are trying to achieve great things in life, we have to balance that mindset of making rest and self care a priority with that hustle mindset of don't indulge your lazy tendencies or else you won't get anything done and you won't get ahead. First of all, we should not discount the value of rest and recovery. Even high performance athletes know the value of rest and recovery. And when you're trying to get a lot done and be a high achiever, it's important to rest not only to recover from burnout, but to prevent it in the first place. But how do you get enough rest and still get your projects done in a timely fashion? How do you give yourself the luxury of sleeping in on weekends and the occasional weekday when you're really drained without overdoing it and laying in bed for hours on end and wasting valuable time and getting nothing done? There's no one size fits all answer to these questions. It's different for everyone. One strategy is to set limits for yourself. I know for me, sleeping in an hour past the time that I normally get up on weekends or the occasional weekday is really no big deal. But I know that if I lay in bed past an hour, that's a sign that something's wrong. I'm either sick, depressed, or severely overworked and stretched thin, and I need to make some changes. Keep in mind, there's never going to be a perfect balance. You have to constantly evaluate your impulse to do one or the other, to rest or to work, and recalibrate if you go too far in one direction. We're human beings, not perfectly programmed machines. In a previous video, I reviewed the book Laziness Does Not Exist in depth. If you search my channel, you can find it. But just to make it easy for you, I will include that book review at the end of this video. Whatever you decide to do today, enjoy yourself and don't let guilt get the best of you, because guilt in and of itself is a waste of time. Thank you for watching. Hi, I have a book recommendation for you. It is a great book called Laziness Does Not Exist by Devin Price. I found out about this book on the YouTube channel called For Harriet, which is run by a young Black woman. And I feel like everyone who grew up in America should read this book because the premise of the book is that you should question the philosophy that we've all been indoctrinated with, that your worth is determined by how hardworking and productive you are. I mean, the author sort of came to this realization that we need to question that assumption because she literally worked herself sick. She started becoming sick working as a professor, feeling like she had to work all out, be available at all hours of the day and night, checking email at 11 and 12 at night before she went to bed, um, working in the evenings, working weekends, and then also being actively involved in several political and social justice causes. So I would really, really, really recommend this book. I think many of us artists feel like we always have to be hyper productive. And, I grew up idolizing people like Prince, who famously would work for 24 or 48 hours straight or even longer. And I think we need to question, is that healthy? And give ourselves room to take breaks and to realize that for those of us who, hold down a day job and then try to do our creative work on early mornings and evenings and weekends, that we need to be gentle with ourselves. And I think There are so many quotes from this. It really took me a long time to get through this book, not because the writing was complicated. It's actually a quick read. It's only 214 pages, but because I had index cards where I was like on every single page writing down a quote or something that I need to go back to, because I got this from the library, but I'm going to definitely buy it. One of the quotes that I love from this book, and I'm paraphrasing, is, "I'm not a flawless productivity robot, and neither is anyone else." So I really, really, really recommend checking out Laziness Does Not Exist by Devin Price. Now, I have to get this back to the library because it's overdue. If you like this video, please leave a comment, share it, and subscribe to my channel.